Yang is a North Korean exile now living in South Korea who has known much pain and suffering in her life, both physically and emotionally. Yang says life in North Korea was unbearable and brutal.
I was living in the poorest village in North Korea. We had to eat sand, which was hard to get. I had to go far away to get this sand, and only a few people got some. I also had to eat wood. It was difficult to go to the bathroom.
At the peak of the famine in the mid-1990s, Yang says 10 or 11 people in her village were starving to death every day. Many suffered mental breakdowns as unspeakable horrors took place. Desperate to help her family that included 2 daughters, Yang snuck into China in 1998. She wanted to earn money, then return to North Korea and start a small business. With the Chinese police looking for North Korean defectors, Yang was unable to work and return home, where she was viewed as a traitor and abused and beaten. In 2002, she fled North Korea again to China with hopes of making some money. There, Yang met an ethnic Korean woman who was operating a rice-selling business. This woman was a Christian.
Before this lady left the house, she prayed. At work, she prayed. I asked her what she was doing, and she said she believed in God and went to church. I asked her, what was church? She told me about the existence of God, and if you meet God, you will be blessed.
Yang gave her life to Christ and returned to North Korea, where she would begin a business, now as a Christian.
I was doing a noodle and rice business in North Korea, and as I learned in China, I prayed when I was doing my business. The lady beside me asked what I was doing. I didn't say anything. Some of my relatives from China also saw me praying and told the lady I was a Christian, and she told the authorities that I was a Christian.
The authorities brought Yang in for questioning, but they couldn't find any evidence that she'd become a Christian. Doing so is seen as an act of treason in North Korea, as only the worship of the Kim family is allowed. The lack of evidence didn't stop authorities from arresting Yang and beating and torturing her. This went on for a month.
They used a shovel to beat people. That's what they did to me. Your body becomes blue everywhere. After I was released, I was followed everywhere by the authorities. I was not allowed to speak anywhere I went. My in-laws didn't even treat me like a human, so I decided to leave the country again.
Yang went back to China in 2003, and while there, she was kidnapped. She was sold into slavery as a maid and repeatedly raped.
I was sold to a businessman who owned a department store. I was locked in the house. I was a slave. The telephone line was cut and the doors were locked from the outside, so I couldn't run away. I was a slave there for 1 month and 13 days before I escaped.
Yang's troubles in China continued, as she didn't speak the language and survival was extremely difficult. In 2006, while 6 months pregnant, she and a friend decided to try to make it to South Korea. With the help of some brokers, they were brought near the Mongolian border. It was winter and very cold. The ground was covered in snow. Yang and her friend got lost, and for 3 days they couldn't find the guards at the border garrison. Yang miscarried and placed the baby in a handbag.
I didn't know what to do, but I had to walk. So I hung the bag around my neck and walked all night. All around us were skeletons and bones. Those bones were North Korean defectors. My friend started to rip my clothes because I didn't give her bread.
Yang didn't have any food. Her friend was hallucinating. Yang was devastated as she watched her friend die in the snow in the bitterly cold temperatures of Mongolia.
Her heart finally stopped, but I will never forget her eyes. She was crying and looked at me. After my friend died, I think I was in shock. I fell asleep. I woke up. I felt warm. I thought it was sunshine, and I had one hand on my friend and the other hand on my baby. It was still dark. I got up and prayed for the Lord to save me.
2 more days would pass before Yang was finally discovered by patrolling Mongolian border guards. They found her lying in the snow. She was unable to open her eyes or move. Yang was taken to a hospital in Mongolia. The bodies of her friend and baby were left behind. Yang suffered severe frostbite. Very little could be done by the medical staff in Mongolia, so Yang was flown to Seoul to the South Korean Armed Forces Medical Command. Because of the frostbite, all of Yang's toes were amputated on her left foot. There was also some damage to her right foot, and a nerve from her right thigh was transplanted to the left foot. 5 years later, Yang is still in constant pain. With all that Yang has been through, it's amazing that she's been able to keep going and look to the future. She credits her faith in Jesus Christ as the reason she has hope, but admits her faith has been tested.
When I almost died in Mongolia, I prayed for God's help. My baby died, my friend died, and God didn't answer my prayers. At the time, I was bitter, but God gave me the heart to leave, and I kept praying to leave. He saved me. Now I have become a faithful Christian and to be a missionary for God. I am learning about God, and I will live for God.
Yang has suffered so much abuse and heartache over the years, and with all that she's had to endure, you'd expect that she'd be bitter, but she's not. In fact, Yang is looking forward to the future as a missionary to North Koreans.
I want to minister to the people of my home country. I want to make sure I spread the word of God. I want people to know that there is an invisible God who we are to believe in, whether they are in North Korea, China, or anywhere in the world. I also want to tell about real life in North Korea to the world, and that there are people like me in North Korea. It's a country that doesn't believe in God. The reason I choose to do missionary work is because there are many North Korean defectors living in the world. I want them to know I survived, and I will be more persuasive for them to believe in Christ.
Should the door open, Yang would like to return to North Korea to bring her people the message of God's love and forgiveness, something she experienced after coming into a relationship with Jesus Christ, of which she sings about from the heart.
용서받을 수 있나요? 본래만도 못한 내가 용서받을 수 있나요?
집에서 이렇게 어머니당 할머니당 재미나게 놀곤 하다가 이렇게 중화간지군 대피훈련이군 하면 어머니들이 할머니들이 대피훈련장에 내려와서 하는 소리가 이건 다 미국 놈들 때문이다 그러면서 대피훈련도 하고 불빛마기도 하고 괜한 그런 걸 하니까니 내 생각으로는 우리 학교에서 가르치는 바와 같이 미국 놈을 끝없이 미워하고 미국 놈하고는 끝까지 싸워야 하고.
Officially, North Korea is divided into 3 classes: the workers, the peasants, and the intellectuals, who are seen as equals in society. Hyunson's family is from the workers' class. Her father is a driver for a government ministry. Her grandfather is a construction worker. Mother and grandmother are housewives. Housing is allocated by the state. Pyongyang is not representative of North Korea. It is the showcase capital. For its 2 million residents, it's considered a privilege to live here. State radio is piped to every kitchen in the block. Listeners can turn the volume down, but not off. The apartment has 2 bedrooms, one for Hyunsun, one for her parents. Her grandparents sleep on the floor where the family is eating. Hyunsun's television is a gift from the state, a reward for performance in the mass games of 2002. There is only one channel. It broadcasts propaganda news, films and entertainment for 5 hours per day.
우리나라에는 이렇게 영웅들을 이렇게 셀 수 없을 정도로 영웅들이 그렇게 많습니다. 그 중에서도 우리나라의 용예를 떨친 정성옥 선수처럼 나도 예술 제조를 잘해서 그렇게 됐으면 합니다. 앞으로는 꼭 그렇게 되겠습니다.
성현이 일어나서 학교 가요. 시간 됐어요. 빨리. 야, 성현이 학교 시간 빨리. 시간. 빨리 하고 가자요. 학교 늦겠어요.
Kim Song-yeon is 11 years old and has performed in 2 mass games. Her family is from the intellectual class. Her father is a physics lecturer at Kim Il-sung University. Her mother is a housewife. She has 2 older sisters. One is 15 and a high school student. The eldest is 18, a high school graduate who will shortly be joining the army. Song-yeon's sisters have a room each. Her parents sleep on the lounge floor. Song-yeon sleeps in a different sister's room each night.
성현이 이거 다 먹은 거 했나? 다 했어.
맛있게 된다했지.
성성의 성성모임을 마치겠습니다. 본묘 행사를 진행하겠습니다. 앞으로
What's that, Monitor?
Our class will go to the movies this afternoon.
Will they show a good film?
Sure, they will show a very interesting film.
Will our teacher come with us?
Yes, he will.
How will you spend your next holiday?
Well, I'll go to the swimming pool with my brother.
Oh, wonderful. Can you swim?
Of course I can. I'm a good swimmer.
Should I come with you?
Yes, please. Let's go together.
Will your sister come too?
No, she won't. She'll be with that day.
I've been teaching English for 5 years.
Good translation. Next, the third sentence, who's this?
Song-yeon, she's good, but in study she's not very good. She spends a lot of time in practicing her skill in the sports club. So in comparison with other students, she does not spend a lot of time to study. So she's not very good in study, but she's quite good enough. Not very bad.
Hello everybody, everyone has something to do in the streets. Most of us will join the Korean People's Army.
N, North, E, East, West, W, West, south. So the first letters make up news.
절대적인 지혜와 결정적 역할을 합니다. 둘째로 우리 수령님의 위대성을 대학생들 속에서 철저히 인식시켜드리겠습니다. 경양 수령의 위대성은 크게 몇 가지입니까? 세 가지. 첫째는 사상의 위대성, 두 번째는 용도의 위대성, 세 번째는 풍모의 위대성입니다. 이렇게 경양하는 수령의 위대성을 세 가지로 인식시켜드리겠습니다. 미제 침략자들은 어디를 침략하고 있습니까? 이라크. 세계적인 정세를 놓고보다는 그 침략자들은 한시도 남을 벌써 침략하지 않는다는 그건 제국주의가 아닌 것입니다. 또 오늘 우리 혁명이 얼마나 어려운 속에서 진행되고 있습니까? 지구상에 하나밖에 남지 않은 조선의 사회주의를 없애버리려고 책동하는 이놈들은 우리나라를 고립, 압살, 질식시켜가지고 정당에는 사회주의 버릇을 어떻게 하려고 합니까? 허물어버리려고 합니다. 그 수령의 용도를 받을 때 자기 운명이 영원한 행복이 마련됐습니다.
Baghdad has fallen to the Americans 4 days earlier, but there has been no official reporting of this in the state media.
아들이 없으니까 인민군대 좀 내보내서 좀 이거의 족 통일 위해서 이거 좀 주먹 가지고 좀 기여할 수 있는 그런 아들이 없는 건 좀 섭섭한 감정은 있습니다. 내 직업 자체가 인테리어다 나니까 이게 과학 사업을 하다니까 조용한 걸 좋아하는데 이 집에 들어오면 그런 분위기가 안 서요. 아이들이 여자들이니까 여보 구강이 너무 발전돼 나서 난 그저 우리 딸들 딸만이라고 해서 섭섭하게 생각은 없다는 거. 우리 딸들이 이제 잘 키워서 나는 이제 인민군대 이제 태권도 가지고 이제 군대에 나가서 좀 자기 일을 하고 말하자면 둘째는 좀 이거 조용한 성격에 이 공부밖에 모른다 말입니다. 그러니까 이건 과학자로 좀 키우려고 우리 막내는 예능이 좀 밝으니까 이거 무용. 아무래도 언어가 다르고 풍습도 다르니까 사람들이 어떤 때 즐거워하고 어떤 때 이게 분노해하고 이런 감정들이 특히 그 텔레비전에 나온 그 최근 국제 소식 같은 거 우리 사람들이 옛날에는 이게 몰랐단 말입니다. 예? 근데 지금 이게 아주 정의로운 이런 걸 표현한다는 걸 아주 사람들이 알게 되고 그런 과정을 통해서 세계를 인식하고 이렇게 해야 된다고 생각합니다.
단순이란 말을 사랑해 구름마다 그만 울려 25th and April 24th, 2014, some newspapers wrote about North Koreans receiving 8 months military training in Switzerland, including shooting with assault rifles using standard NATO ammunition. Several North Koreans were trained for a period of 8 months, which has cost the rich Swiss 160,000 Swiss francs in a GCSP program costing 120 million Swiss francs for 800 participants a year. GCSP stands for Geneva Center for Security Policy and is just one more of Octagon's NGOs to control the world. Yeah, there it is, the world. It's nothing less than the entire world. And this stripe here is part of the Vesica Pisces. It's the circle meeting another circle, which could be here. And if you do like, this is the other part of the other circle, like here, then you get the oval. So they give one part of the Vesica Pisces, which is for organization, and so they want to make the other part, which should be here. That's what it means. Well, look at that. Where knowledge meets experience. Well, they got a lot of experience, eh? That's Switzerland. This is Octagon. Well, here's another one. It says impartial, inclusive, influential. Oh, that's arrogant, eh? Influential. So what do they want to influence here, eh? Well, there's some more. They call the GCSP a peace school. That's why they go shooting with military assault rifles and invite all sort of dictatorships whose dictators bring the wealth they stole from their peoples into Switzerland to the Swiss Nazi banks. I mean, why not invite representatives from other countries and play ping pong or volleyball instead of military training on firearms for better killing? If your NGO is a peace organization, well, Swissies know that by inventing ping pong players, you most likely won't be able to lay the foundations of total control, big business, and for war. And this is how Octagon steers the world and probably only invites their own Swiss sleeper agents of their worldwide fifth column. Here it says, the Geneva Center for Security Policy. I put it all in the link so you can read the article, yeah. It was in more newspapers where when I wanted to film it, it wasn't on it anymore. So this one here is on the Stars and Stripes. Oh look, there's even no more place to put all the medals. I mean, what kind of a sick mind goes together with this here, what we can see here? This, what kind of a psychology is behind it? What kind of a character? I mean, this is sick. Oh. Well, no doubt Octagon discusses new and old techniques about concentration camps for the North Koreans with Switzerland's knowledge of the Nazi concentration camps. Well, if you have a peace NGO, then why not make music together instead of army target practicing with our images on the targets anyway? So it's clear the whole peace NGO is a big Swiss lie again. Well, do you think that in the evening they just discuss peace and some Swiss culinary specialities such as some Swiss melted dip cheese or what? It may rather be assumed the opportunist Swiss grasped the opportunity to ask, hey, we heard you had that bomb, and we don't like the great US Satan either. Listen, you have the bomb, and we have a lot of US tax dollars we don't want to give back, so maybe we can work something out. Like we have some Swiss Pequeña Suiza Nueva Helvetia territories in South and Central America where you can install some of the launchers not far away from the big US Satan. Well, what do you think? You want some more wine and melted dip cheese? And reality shows that the Swissies did the very same thing, attracting US billionaires not to pay their taxes in the US anymore. And Swissy has pleaded guilty to conspiracy for a US court this year. This is Octagon preparing World War III through their Swiss sneaky ways, just as Albert Pike, in reality a Swiss agent, predicted 3 world wars, and Swissy is working on it, I tell you. It says, the Swiss conspiracy. They're very, very capable of conspiracy. It's coming out now. This is not a clean country. This is what they do. They lie, and there's conspiracy. You see, this is May 19, 2014. There's a lot of things. It's going faster and faster and faster. In the same week, many things came out, and yeah, it's getting dangerous. They're getting very unpredictable now. There are a lot of similarities between North Korea and Nazi Germany. They both like goose-stepping, as you can see here. Both have concentration camps. Both leaders tell their people of how much they love their people, which is a complete tactical lie and the best way to win the people's trust. And both have the Alpine powers behind the scenes, where Kim Jong-un even speaks Swiss German. And I wouldn't be surprised if Hitler did too. Swissies and their banks brought upon the Germans a dreadful economical crisis with hunger, poverty and starvation, miraculously resolved by the Führer or leader, whom they would die for afterwards, and they saw him as a god and Messiah, who delivered them from total misery, without understanding that these are Octagon's ancient techniques behind. The same in North Korea, where grandfather Kim Il-sung delivered the Korean people from the American aggressions initiated by Swiss sleeper agent President and General Eisenhower, who brought on Octagon's order the Cold War upon the world, and totally misleading the American public through media psychological indoctrinations, false flags and plain lies. This is always setting innocent peoples up against each other, while Octagon of the Alps making a big buck. So these guys are the from the paper Nazis who came to the US through the paperclip operations, you know, giving the US a very bad name and setting peoples up against each other. This is Octagon. Same thing happening now with Russia and the Ukraine and the Russian oligarchs and their Swiss bank accounts greasing the war machinery, as we can see here. Putin is just as bad as Obama, setting peoples up against each other, and fascism rising in Europe after Swiss work behind the screens. So this is the oligarchs, you know, greasing the war machinery. They are jihadists, you know, they're sending in jihadists from Chechnya, you know, to kill the Ukrainians. And well, this is what Putin really is like, and Obama, you know, they're all the same. The whole world is ruled by these pharaohs and their Swiss bank accounts and their oligarchs. There's also like Hitler, you know, and Kim Jong-un, the guy you just saw on the horse, you know, the big hero. There are Russians who are ready to die for Putin because he gave him some work. He took some measures against queers and, you know, not showing their bottoms, you know, to children like. But in fact, he doesn't care. He just wants to win the people's hearts. I mean, his grandfather or his father was a cook for Stalin. He was born into this aristocracy. He's part of the Tsars, you know. Wake up. So they're sending in jihadists, you know, for some money, you know, who want to kill some whiteys, you know. This is what they do. I mean, these are real slit throats, eh? Oh, yeah. So this is what Putin is like. All dictators. It's all the aristocracy. And it all comes back to Octagon. So, North Koreans come and train, shoot rifles and discuss in Switzerland for almost a year. And their dictator, Kim Jong-un, even speaks Swiss German, Octagon's language, which is not that easy to learn, because for doing so you must make a detour and learn German first. So it must be clear that Kim Jong-un is one of those Swiss fifth column sleeper agents who speaks the mother tongue. So I'll show you the entire article. Oh, there's a lot more. Speak Swiss German, can you imagine? Right. I'll put the whole link in the under the video with the links. I'll put the whole article in there. So from 1993 till 2000, that's 7 years, the Korean dictator got trained and schooled in Octagon, in a school in the Swiss capital of the Bear, called Bern. Not very far from where we live, so I went filming there for you. You can read the whole article, put in the links. So here's some more about it. I'll show you the school here, there's the name, I'll show it to you later. And this article was in the Daily Mail. So this here is the school where the dictator of Korea went to school, Mr. Kim Jong-il. And this is the sporting ground where he used to play basketball. He was very into basketball, that's why Mr. Rodman, he visited him, like in Korea. So this is the it's a quiet area here. It's next to a quite sort of posh area as well. Könitz. It's part of Bern. So why do you? And he spoke Swiss German. You know, this is what I've been talking about. This is the Swiss fifth column. They can be Chinese, they can be Russian. They're everywhere. The Swiss, everywhere. So he looks Chinese from the outside or Asian, but he's not. He's Swiss. What do you think a Korean? They say they hate the world and the Western world most of all. And why did they go to a school in the most western part of the Western world, Switzerland? Why do they do this? You know, it's all a lie. Just like Mr. Hitler, he lied about loving the Germans. Well, it's the same with Mr. Kim Jong-un and his father, Kim Jong-il. You know, they say, well, we love the Korean people and we love the German people. But in fact, what they do and what they did is like terrorizing the Korean people and the German people. It's all lies, you know. Politicians mostly say what we want to hear. You know, they're all liars, including Mr. Putin, all of them, all the politicians. They're all a bunch of liars. They tell us what we want to hear. So here did he go? Here he went to school. He even spoke Swiss German. And you know, for speaking Swiss German, you have to learn German first. You know, nobody just... I know Germans, you know, I've been here for 20 years. They don't speak a word of Swiss German. Because it's you won't understand it. Well, the Germans do. But... yeah, here it says basketball. This is what he used to do here in his time off. So this is how they did it, you know. A Swiss woman, she marries or she gets a child with a Korean guy. The guy, he gets sent back to his country, so don't make any children with any Swiss women. because there's a very big chance you would never see your child again. And then so the child is going to be raised in a Swiss manner. If the child is a girlie, she's going to marry, or she's going to have a child with another Korean, and the child will be already much more the child will already be much more Asian looking, and same thing again, the father will be sent away, never sees his child again. So inside it's completely Swiss, you know. Well, this is one of the sporting grounds. He used to play basketball. Well, it doesn't look like basketball here. It's probably somewhere else. So this is still the school. So after 5 generations, you know, the offspring looks like Korean as any Korean. But inside, you know, it's Swiss. This is what they did in the US. This is what they did in Germany. Always. You know? So this is the school where Mr. Kim Jong-in in Lieberfeld or Könitz, where he went to school. And he left 2000. It's not very long ago. Well, he spent like 7 years in Switzerland. Oh, why Switzerland, you know? Why Swiss? A dictator of Korean, he speaks Swiss German. Better than English. Well, usually they don't show it. It probably came out, which I didn't like very much, you know. So, yeah, this is the white nigger system. Excuse me my word, I don't believe like this, you know. So, this is why he played basketball, Mr. Kim Jong-un. So he spent like 7 years, or I don't know, playing basketball here. Yeah, you imagine, huh? And all his brothers and sisters, 2 brothers and 1 sister, I think, they all went to school in Switzerland, in Geneva, Lausanne, and in Bern. So he didn't even go to like an international school. He did in the beginning, so he completely switched to a Swiss school, where they speak like only Swiss German. Looks nice and clean, you know. Looks peaceful, but it isn't. Yeah. You imagine, not so long ago, the dictator of Korea has been playing basketball here. I'll show you where he lived as well. Yeah. A bit of rain coming up. Yeah. Well. Kim, come here, play some basketball. Yeah. So. There he was, yeah. Can you imagine Mr. Kim Jong-un sitting here, chilling out, you know, drinking his energy drink or I don't know what, his Coke, sitting here, the dictator of North Korea in Switzerland. Yeah. I mean, nobody would choose like a school in Switzerland where they speak Swiss German. Well, I mean, the entire financial elite and nobility, they all go to schools like in Switzerland, but they go to international schools, not a school where they speak Swiss German. They probably always have been speaking Swiss German, you know. So here's the other side of the school then. So there's the school again from the other side. It's nice and green. Some nice mountains behind there. So it says to Steinholzli. That's where the dictator went to school. It's a little nice, isn't it? So here's the street, Hildegard Street, where the school is there, where the dictator went to school. So this is where he lived, this here, and just next to the school, probably 5 minutes walk, or not even. It means the Church Street number 10. Just wonder if there's some more Koreans living here now. Probably. So here's a wine cellar here. I don't know what it is. Give shots around. So this is where the dictator of North Korea lived. So if he turns left there, and then right and immediately left, that's a school. It's 2 minutes. So there's number 10. This is where he walks in. And turn left here, and then right, and the school is there where the trees are. Quite near. And this is the big street here. This one went to his house there, here, right. And here he went to school. And there where the chalets, he turned left, or probably some way here in between. It's well, you can do it in 1 minute. So this is where the dictator lived. A pharmacy. Some friendly Swiss people. Yeah, look at them. A zombie. Cheeseburger, McDonald's, a pizza restaurant. Yeah. This is called the white nigger system. Excuse me the expression, my black brothers. I'm totally on your side. So outside black, or Korean in this case, and inside white and Swiss. So, a Swiss woman finds herself a Korean, have a mixed child, and the Korean father either dies or gets extradited and never sees his child again, which gets raised by Octagon. Then, if it's a girl, she finds herself some Korean again, and the same technique gets reproduced, only this time the fruit of the second generation looks much more Korean. That is, from the outside only. Then 3 more similar generations and the outcome looks like real Korean, like Kim Jong-un, but the inside is what? Well, yes, white. And he even speaks Swiss German. So it must be assumed that all the 800 participants of the GCSP program in Geneva are all the result of the white nigger system, which, by the way, had been experimented a lot too in the Nazi concentration camps, the Lebensborn program, and surely the North Korean concentration camps. But the idea is much older and dates back to the days of Pharaoh. So you better not make any children with a Swiss, cause chances are fairly high you'll never see your beloved child again, as I had to find out the hard way. And no Swiss legal system will abide by the laws, as they were supposed to in Octagon of lawlessness and Nazi Templar rule. You know, it's all about human processing, you know, by it's eugenics and having a farmed human race by the by some certain Swiss laws of modeling mankind. Now just look at the facts. Now why would a North Korean dictator speak Swiss German? Spent 7 years in a normal Swiss school and sent his army officers for some war and assault rifle training at some bogus Geneva NGO. Well, here he is, Leonardo Conti, the head of the Lebensborn and the farming of the human race, and you know, doing the black nigger, the white nigger program as well, you know, and having total control over human bodies and making a mix and all sorts of experiments. And this guy was Swiss. This is Octagon. He was the Reich Minister of Health and a Nazi general, an SS general. He was Swiss, Leonardo Conti, having total control over human bodies and doing all these sort of things. You know, this is behind the Korean leader speaking Swiss German. You know, Leonardo Conti, a Swiss Nazi general working for the Lebensborn. That's what I'm telling you about. This is the real force behind it all. The farming of the human, of mankind as a farmed race. Well, there he is again, Leonardo Conti, and the origins of the Nazi genocide, and you may live, you may not live, you know, and it's all Swiss. It's from Switzerland. It's Octagon. See my other film on the Swiss sadist Leonardo Conti. And the same thing, this is now it's all related with North Korea, and the same thing happening there. So this is in Könitz. It's real near to Kim Jong-un from Switzerland. 1610 with the famous, like the Swiss Templars cross. So I just showed you the card was full. There's the bear, like the Blackwater sign, you know, with the barefoot, Schwarzwasser. Was that serpents? So this is in the same town, like, well, it is all burned, but very near to where the dictator lived. It's a sort of a part of a sort of castle which is there. Templars. Obelisk with the world domination and the devil. Always next to the water for Isis. Very old church. So this is all next to where the dictator lived. Now let's have a look at that grave there. It says Baumeister. That's a title in a Freemason lodge, Baumeister. Nobility. I don't know what that is. It looks like it looks very occult, you know, with the two pillars. I don't know what that is. Ja, ihr habt auch nun Traurigkeit, aber ich will euch wiedersehen und euer Herz soll sich freuen. So they're talking about the resurrection and the like life after. Baumeister, yeah, like means a mason. And by the way, Switzerland too had eugenics institutes practicing forced sterilization on young healthy people until 1996, and children slaves in concentration camps until 1989, who were raped, beaten to death and starved to death just as in North Korea. They were called the Verdingkinder. So you can, I'll put it in the links for you. It says 1950 or something. Well, that's not true. They did it until 1989. Octagon has their dirty little fingers in any crime against humanity, in the past, now, and the turmoils to come.
Ms. Hannah Song. I'm the president of Link, Liberty in North Korea.
So a group of us are here partnering with an international campaign called Save My Friend. And the idea of this is to protest the Chinese government and asking them to release 30 North Korean refugees that are currently arrested and are scheduled to be sent back to North Korea. And so we're here to ask the Chinese government not to repatriate these 30 North Korean refugees.
So we have an opportunity to be a part of this global movement that's been happening. It was started in Seoul under the banner called Save My Friend. It was just a few concerned citizens in South Korea who decided that they wanted to, they heard about this group of 30 North Korean refugees that were arrested in China, and they wanted to put this global attention on China to encourage them to not send them back because of China's policy of repatriating North Korean refugees. This is also an important situation because it is the first known group of refugees since the new Kim Jong-un regime has been in place. And so from what we have heard from North Korean refugees and people still in the country, they've told us that they've been warned by the government that there will be extreme punishments for individuals who try to escape or who have escaped.
So 30 North Korean refugees are being held by the Chinese government right now, and the Chinese government is threatening to repatriate them where they will face execution or life in some prison camps. So we're here just to kind of raise awareness and bring attention, especially here at the Chinese consulate.
Well, they estimate that there's between 30 to 50,000 refugees hiding in China today. And this is normal practice for the Chinese government to send North Korean refugees back because they don't consider them to be refugees, but they consider them to be economic migrants. And so, although China is a signatory
평양방송입니다.
평양방송입니다.
영광스러운 우리 소국 조선민주주의인민공화국 만세!
우리인민의 모든 승리의 조직자이며 현도자인 영광스러운 조선노동당 만세!
남조선 동포 여러분 안녕하십니까? 오늘은 8월 11일 목요일, 음력으로는 7월 요리틀입니다. 지금부터 오늘 평양방송을 시작하겠습니다.
El primer presidente del Comité de Defensa Nacional. En la escena iniciada con el prólogo Rendimos Gloria, se pusieron variados números, como el Jong y el coro, Mejor es nuestro mariscal. La música instrumental y la suite de canciones cantaron sobre el regazo del partido madre y la danza historia del pájaro madre. Presenciaron la sesión funcionarios del sector y de la Unión Juvenil y Jóvenes y Niños Escolares. En el campo constructivo de la marisma de la isla Hong Kong, donde viven para celebrar el Día del Sol con los éxitos laborales, tuvo lugar el día 10 la voladura de 300.000 metros cúbicos del monte. Así se ha garantizado la condición para impulsar con vigor el refuerzo del dique 4 y la primera obra de represa del dique número 2. El atleta coreano Jong obtuvo 3 medallas de oro en el Campeonato Mundial de Juniores 2013 de la Federación Internacional de Levantamiento de Pesas, efectuado en Tashkent, Uzbekistán, el 10 de abril. Él conquistó en la competencia masculina de 62 kilos 3 medallas de oro, en el arranque con 116 kilos y en el envión con 142 kilos, en total 258 kilos. Anteriormente a esto, en el partido femenino de 52
관용이 부족하다든지 하는 성격적인 결함을 지적하고 있다고 하거든요.
그렇군요.
레닌이 이제 누워 있을 때는 이미 스탈린이 그 서기장에 올라 있었던 상황이었는데요. 레닌이 의식을 회복했던 마지막 몇 주 동안에는 스탈린에 대해서 더 가혹한 판단을 내렸다고 합니다. 뭐 스탈린이 너무 난폭하다면서 그를 서기장에서 해임시킬 수 있는 방법을 찾고 좀 더 충성스럽고 동지들에게 관심을 가지고 있고 또 덜 변덕스러운 다른 사람을 찾아보라는 그런 말까지 남겼다고 하거든요.
아, 그렇군요. 이런 얘기는 지금 처음 들어보는 얘기들인데요.
네.
사실 레닌의 혁명 유업은 그 스탈린에 의해서 훌륭히 계승됐다. 이 정도로만 알고 있었는데 그 레닌도 스탈린을 경계했다. 이런 거는 처음 듣는 이야기고 그 김정일도 그렇지만 이제 독재자들을 가만히 보면 모두 정신 이상 쪽 병증상을 보이는 것 같습니다. 제가 보기에는 그 나폴레옹도 그렇고요, 히틀러나 스탈린, 김정일 등 모든 독재자들은 하나같이 다 자율주의 성격인 서유자주의인 것 같아요.
네, 그 독재가 사실 쉬운 게 아니잖아요.
그렇죠.
네, 그 아무튼 스탈린 시대 하면 이제 소련이 개발 계획도 벌이고 또 국제적 지위도 높아지고 이런 뭐 여러 가지 달성들을 이루지만요. 이러한 달성 뒤에는 1,000만 명에 가까운 농민들의 희생이 있었고 또 소련인들의 뇌리에서 사라질 수가 없는 그런 대숙청의 공포가 있었다고 합니다.
사실 이제 북에 있을 때도 악랄한 독재자 하면은 히틀러를 제일 먼저 떠올리곤 했는데요.
네.
그거는 왜냐하면 그 일체인 학살을 줄 수가 있죠, 히틀러에. 그런데 1,000만 명이나 되는 사람을 죽였다. 이건 대단한 숫자고요.
물렸고 지내는 고향의 이 시간 평양 가운데 그 시를 알게 됐습니다.
이전수령 김일성 동지의 고속정 노작은 스위스에서 다른 번으로 출판했습니다. 이전수령 김일성 동지의 고려의 고속정 노작, 조국 통일을 위한 전민족 대단결 10대革命을 스위스 국제사상연구소조에서 8월 25일 다른 번으로 출판했습니다.
위대한 수령 김일성 동지의 탄생 100돌 때 등마여 방글라데시 국제사상연구소에서 3월 26일 졸리진 국제사상탑을 발행했습니다. 졸리진은 광고하셨습니다. 조선민주주의 민공화국의 수도 평양에 가서 건강관의 어연히 소속처에서 이걸 가오려는 듯한 공간을 우리 하늘사이에 울렸고 지내는 고향의 이 시간 평양 가운데 그 시를 알게 됐습니다.
공연이다. 이전수령 김일성 동지의 고속정 노작은 스위스에서 다른 번으로 출판했습니다. 이전수령 김일성 동지의 고려의 고속정 노작, 조국 통일을 위한 전민족 대단결 10대革命을 스위스 국제사상연구소조에서 8월 25일 다른 번으로 출판했습니다.
위대한 수령 김일성 동지의 탄생 100돌 때 등마여 방글라데시 국제사상연구소에서 3월 26일 졸리진 국제사상탑을 발행했습니다. 졸리진은 광고하셨습니다. 조선민주주의 민공화국의 수도 평양에 가서 건강관의 어연히 소속처에서 이걸 가오려는 듯한 공간을 제35 1946년 7월 하순 국제전 공산당 중앙위원회 제8차 박리스팅위원회 제1일입니다. 회의에서는 다수에서 온 대의들로부터 공산당과 신민당의 합당 문제와 관련한 많은 질문들이 제기되었습니다.
그중에는 당이 근로대 중립 이익을 대표한다고 하는데 왜 당의 명칭을 노동당이라고 부르는가? 그것은 노동자들의 당이라는 의미가 아닌가는 질문도 있었습니다. 인간 당리는 물을 뿌린 듯 조용해지고 모두의 시선은 위대한 수령님께로 쏠렸습니다. 위대한 수령님께서는 그것은 잘못된 중이라고 하시면서 노동이라고 하면 흔히 공장이나 광산에서 일하는 노동자들을 생각하는데 그렇게만 생각해서는 안 된다고. 노동자는 물론 농민도 노동을 하며 가문도 중심노동을 하고 있다고. 우리가 두 당을 합당하여 강립하려다간 다같이 노동에 참가하는 노동자, 농민, 근로인들의 손진 분자들이 돌리는 것만큼 그 용심을 노동당이라고 하자는 것이라고 명백히 말씀하셨습니다. 노동당. 이것이야말로 근로인민의 통일적 정당으로서의 대중적 정적을 만족하게 표현하는 정당한
shipped a lot of nuclear weapons into South Korea and turned it into the largest nuclear depot in the Far East. It ceaselessly conducted mass-targeted nuclear war exercises together with the South Korean puppets, increasing the danger of nuclear war on the Korean Peninsula. The constant nuclear blackmail of the United States and the hostile forces following it and their mass-targeted nuclear war moves compel the dprk to transmit self-defense war deterrence. As a result, the dprk has become a full-fledged nuclear state. The United States, which gave rise to the nuclear issue of the Korean Peninsula, tried, together with the South Korean puppets, to justify their mass-targeted nuclear war exercises, loudly talking about nuclear threat from the north, but it only disclosed their brazen treason. The recent exercise for using extended deterrent means is said to have been conducted on the basis of the coordinated deterrent strategy of different types, according to various scenarios of nuclear crisis. The attempt of the United States and the South Korean puppets for preemptive nuclear attack on the dprk is becoming more serious with each passing day. It is embodied all the more that the recent exercise was officiated by the U.S. Assistant Secretary for Nukes and Missiles and the advisor of the Asia-Pacific Regional Policy of the U.S. Department of Defense, the chief of the policy room of the South Korean Ministry of National Defense, and other policymakers. It proves that the United States and the South Korean puppets are promoting their policy for preemptive nuclear attack on the North. The dprk will never remain an only...
강화해야 합니다. 학원에서 기초과학 교육을 강화하는 것은 학생들에게 자연과 사회에 대한 더 넓은 지식을 주며 앞으로 전문 분야의 최신 과학과 첨단 기술을 습득할 수 있는 기초를 튼튼히 닦아주는 매우 중요한 사업입니다. 기초과학 교육은 학생들에게 사물 현상을 활용하는 여러 가지 법칙들과 원리들을 연관 속에서 고찰하며 배운 지식을 현실에 활용하여 새로운 것을 탈당하고 탐구하는 집중 능력을 갖추어주는 데 기본을 두고 진행하여야 합니다. 평양학원들에서 컴퓨터 교육을 강화하는 데 특별한 관심을 돌려야 합니다. 정치와 군사, 경제를 비롯한 사회생활의 모든 분야에서 컴퓨터의 이용 범위가 급속히 확대되고 있는 오늘의 현실은 학생들 속에서 컴퓨터 교육을 더욱 강화할 것을 이어가고 있습니다. 평양학원 학생들이 앞으로 현대전의 발전과 전투를 조직 지휘하는 지휘승원이 되자고 하여도 그렇고 사회의 여러 분야에서 핵심적인 역할을 하자고 하여도 컴퓨터를 능숙하게 다루고 활용할 줄 알아야 합니다. 평양학원들에서는 컴퓨터 실기 과목의 비중을 높여 모든 학생들이 컴퓨터를 능숙하게 다루고 응용 프로그램들을 활용할 수 있는 능력을 키워줘야 합니다. 평양학원들에서는 외국어 과목 교육에도 힘을 넣어 학생들이 한 가지 이상의 외국어를 소유하고
Chers auditeurs, cette émission en langue française se diffuse à Pyongyang, capitale de la République populaire démocratique de Corée.
Veuillez écouter tout d'abord le chant du général Kim Il-sung.
있었던 강호 수백은 당연히 사실을 그저 세경의 보입니다. 보시공에 따르면 최근 100년 동안 정말 나오라는 것을 범해 정령한 처벌을 받고 양에 쫓겨났던 강호 수백은 올해 자유로 일성 생일 세트를 맞아 대사면을 받고 일정은 2000년 이래 의견을 이미 받았거나 개인적인 강구들을 대조하고 개념이 명확하지 않거나 의견가 불편한 강구에 대해서는 공개시키라는 지시를 내렸기 때문입니다. 이에 대해 황당해한 강구는 김정일도 예비의 권력을 넘겨받을 때 진짜가 될 만한 사람들을 대고 주도하거나 몇 년 지난 뒤 조성한 사람들에게 자기 정치적 책임을 부여해 구성을 받아냈다면 이번 대사면 장치 예비법을 잃어먹어한 것이라고 지적했습니다. 즉, 이번 대사면으로 불려난 강우들도 대부분 이 자리에